Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send a beating at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
Zombie apocalypse.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to week 19 of the JMP Sports Podcast. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. To the JMP Sports Podcast. My name is Patrick Wilson, and I am proudly joined by my co-host, Jonathan Papp. John, how are you?
I am, well, I stink at tennis, and I'm not in a good mood, so I'm ready to destroy anything that comes in my way that's not agreeing with my statement.
So, Ben Simmons sucks.
Hey, we will get to him. Trust me. We will get to him.
You know, that shirt's looking a little wrinkled.
Yeah, because you threw it on the floor.
No, I didn't. I threw it on your beanbag and then sat on it.
Sat on it.
There's a difference. All right. I guess should we do the locks real quick? I actually do.
Yes, sir.
Bang. So from last week, John and I tied again. So John is still up by 1 point.
Love it.
Yeah. Did the Sixers actually beat the Pelicans? Because you told me no, they didn't.
Oh, wait. Yes, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. That was the first game that they played.
And they won.
They won.
Are you sure?
Do you want me to bring it up?
I'm just making sure. So John's up by 2, apparently. I don't know. If I find out he's lying, he's resetting back
Pelicans
to 0.
are 0-3.
I'm just saying if he's
117-97.
Okay, that's not bad. How about them
20.
against the Knicks though? Or not the Knicks, the Nets.
I mean, when you don't score in the last 5.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, it's kind of what happens.
That looked familiar.
They had that team beat.
Yeah, they did, but that looked familiar.
So we agree that it's not all Ben Simmons' fault.
Not 100%, probably about like 80 of it, but
How? He wasn't even on the floor.
no, not that loss.
Yeah, but it's still the same players. Same coaches.
For the most part, yeah. What?
Wasn't all his fault.
I mean, if he played,
All right.
you never know. They could have scored less points, but he's got to be like a little
Okay.
crybaby and not want to practice.
If we're
so he
getting
gets
straight
suspended.
into Ben Simmons, I'm going to start off hot. Okay. Do you know what happened with Lane Johnson? He's the Eagles.
Hello, Chris.
Okay, Chris. Chris, I've got a thing. Ready? We all know what happened to Lane Johnson, right? Pat, maybe you don't.
Probably
Lane
not.
Johnson had stepped away for a few weeks of football because he had some mental issues. He was very depressed and just, everything in that whole situation. And he came back and everybody on Twitter is like, hey, take as much time as you need. Mental health, whatever. Take as much time as you need. As soon as Ben Simmons says he has mental health, and he said that he may have mental health last year with his whole sister and his whole family situation, that his head wasn't all right. Why is it different with Ben Simmons compared to Lane Johnson? Why is he treated differently?
Well, because Lane Johnson took the few weeks and came back stronger.
Okay, Ben's doing the same thing right now.
Ben's been doing it for a year.
So a mental health thing is still a mental health thing. What makes it different from one mental health case to the next? What's the difference? Why are we treating it differently?
I honestly just think Ben Simmons isn't working on it. He says he is, but I don't think he really is.
But how can you prove it?
I mean, I can't. Does he have help? Does he have counseling?
Yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah.
And it's not working for him at all.
That's why he's not playing. He says I'm not mentally right, and that he's seeing somebody for it.
Did he just start seeing somebody for it, or has he?
I'm not sure, but that's what he's doing. So why is
if he's starting now, finally trying to get some help, that's a different story. But for the past year, if he's just letting it drag on him and make him worse and worse, that's when it starts pissing people off.
But why is that? Why does that make people mad if it's a mental health issue?
Because he didn't do anything to actually help himself. And then it just made him worse, made the team worse. And it, like, the fans, basically, they revolved this team around him, I feel like. Like, he was supposed to be the star, but then they got lucky with Joel Embiid. And Ben Simmons didn't really do anything to try and help himself out until now. Now that he's under all this fire.
But he got in front of the whole team and the whole coach and said, "Hey, I'm taking some of the blame for last year. Other people took other blame for last year."
Yeah,
and he said,
finally he's doing that. That's my thing. He wasn't doing it before. He wasn't taking any responsibility, wasn't doing anything that he was supposed to do for it. Like, that's why a lot of people are mad, because he wasn't taking his responsibility for anything and blaming it on everybody else. And now that he's coming back, now that I know that he's actually trying to work on his mental health issues, I might give him another chance.
Now, I do, Pat, you have to know this, and this is going to hurt my case, but I don't care. You have to know this, that in the CBA of the NBA, you cannot fine a player for not showing up due to a mental health issue. Now, I do know that. Now, there is some fishiness that I could see him doing that, but I don't think that's true. I think he legit has something wrong with him, because no NBA player should not be afraid to shoot or even come into the arena and practice.
Yeah.
I think this is bigger than just money, and he hasn't shown it yet.
What day, Chris? What day? I mean, I'm hoping it's a bigger thing than money, and that he's not just claiming mental health issues so he can collect a paycheck, because that everybody knows that's the main reason why he came back, was because he was getting fined and not collecting a paycheck.
Yeah. But my thing is, why are we treating, if somebody says they have mental health issues, why are we even questioning it? Why is it different than if Lane Johnson, oh, hey, take your time, go get right?
Because Lane Johnson came right out with it, said something.
He didn't come right. He said that he's had it his whole life. He said he's been hiding it for his whole life. He hasn't told anybody until now, until it got really bad. He said he had it since high school.
All right, perfect, Chris. Sounds good. He doesn't have a date yet. He hit it for 4 weeks. I don't know then. Like, the way you came out with it sounded like he came out saying that he had mental health issues and got help right away. That's how I took it. I know nothing about that situation. So that's why I was saying that, because he came out right away. But if he didn't come out right away, it shouldn't be different. I just think he hit it a lot better. So now it's like, now that it's just coming out and he's getting help right away, now that it's out, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Because Ben Simmons has been saying it for a while, but he hasn't been doing anything about it.
Well, we don't know that he wasn't doing anything about it. We don't know that. I don't know what exactly happened with his sister and his whole family. But I do remember seeing something like that last year, and you could tell in his press conferences that he just didn't want to talk about it. And that's something that could
Yeah,
weigh
and that's
somebody down.
understandable too. Like that's personal reasons at that point. Like that's understandable. I give him a pass for that all day, any day. Like I just think if you know about your mental health issues and you don't try and do anything about it and try and get yourself help, that can be not only dangerous for you, but it can be dangerous for your team. It can be dangerous for the fan base. Like you need to get that help no matter what. Like even if it's like a minor mental issue where you can just go to your family and talk it out and get it out that way, or if it's a major one where you need professional counseling.
Yeah.
Either way, I definitely think it is huge to get that help that you need.
Yeah, and Ben said that he wants to play. Like his intention is to play, but he needs to get mentally right. Now, whatever that is, I don't know.
Does he want to play for Philly anymore though?
Yeah, I think he just said he wants to play. I mean, everybody. I mean, Joel Embiid even said that night at the home opener, like Ben is still our brother. Let's support him, and then drop the mic.
Okay,
that's in front of everybody at that Nets game on Friday night.
Okay, well, at least now it seems like he's trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. If he can figure out a way to get through this mental block of his and he can like become a better basketball player out of it instead of hurting the team, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like either way, he needs to figure out this mental health for himself, no matter what. But in the long run, it'll hopefully help out the team as well, and then be where everybody wanted it to be, including Ben.
Yeah.
Where they can be that championship team that everybody wanted it to be, including Ben.
Right.
Instead of trying to trade Ben because he's not doing what he's being paid to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I at least like that you're seeing the other side of this, because that is what I said to you earlier when I have the Ben Simmons tying him with the Eagles.
Okay. Yeah. See, now this is like a completely different story though.
Now it doesn't
now
excuse him for the last 3 weeks. But at least now we know part of the issue. And
yes. Yeah, like it's been an up and down roller coaster with him, and just the way he's reacted with everything, it just really, really got me mad. But now that it seems like he's getting help, as long as I see that he continues to get health and he's not just saying that so he can collect a paycheck, I'll be happy. Because right now, I don't even know if I fully trust him.
Right.
See, I gotta be picky with my words here now. What am I trying to say here? I guess because I'm just repeating myself at this point, where it's like, because Ben is finally starting to get some help, I can at least support him through that.
Right.
Like now I have something to support him instead of him not taking any responsibility for any of his actions, blaming everybody else for it. Now it seems like he's starting to take responsibility, starting to get the help that he needs, and starting to become, more like an adult instead of a little child.
Right. Right. And like I said, it doesn't excuse the last 3 weeks of him just not being there, but there's at least a reason.
Yeah, like it's better. It's getting better. So I mean, we'll see where it goes with the next few weeks, and we'll figure everything out at that point. But as of right now, I still don't have my full 100% trust in him just because of how he's been acting the past few months.
Right.
So
Now, let's get to the actual game. Let's get to the games, the 3 games that they've played.
they
So
look solid in all 3 of them,
they did,
except for the Nets game until
the last
end.
5 minutes.
Yeah, the Nets game, they just choked. I don't know what happened there. They just
But
choked.
here we go. Everybody's saying Daryl Morey is not doing his job because they should have just got rid of Ben sooner. That is not true. I do not believe that. I sent out a tweet, or I replied to a tweet that John Clark, he tweeted out a quote that he said on 97.5, the Mike Missinelli show. And I said, I actually like what Daryl Morey's doing. The players in the NBA have too much power, and this is taking a stand. I can wait for the right deal. If it's the right move, maximize the title window of Joel Embiid. So Daryl Morey's quote said, "This could take 4 years." Basically, he said straight up, "This could take 4 years." Because you're gonna think I'm kidding. I'm not. This could be 4 years.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if it was either, because everybody knows how great of a player Ben Simmons can be.
Right.
It just matters
And
what we can get out of him.
yeah, he said Daryl Morey said he's not trading Ben Simmons if it's not for a difference maker to help us win the title. He's not trading him for role players. So you're just gonna have
As
to
he
accept
should.
that you're gonna have to accept that Ben Simmons is coming back until Ben Simmons proves that he can play to either stay on this team or play enough to where a team offers a difference maker.
And
So you should be
I can live
rooting
with that.
for Ben Simmons to come back and play well. Whatever you have feelings about him for, you should be rooting for him to come back and play.
Yeah, because his trade value will go up during the regular season. If he still wants to be traded, we can actually get something good for him. Or if he plays well and wants to stay in Philly, he can possibly continue to play well throughout the playoffs and figure out what happens from there and hopefully get a title out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope the team doesn't choke again against a player that's just as tall as me.
They need a closer. They need somebody who's just going to be like, hey, give me the ball. I'm going to go and score. We all think that's Joel Embiid. The first 3 games haven't shown it. Tobias Harris, 3 games haven't shown it. Nobody scored in the last 5.5 minutes in that Nets game. The one thing I do like that Daryl Morey in the last 2 years has made 2 very important moves that are very underrated. Getting rid of Mike Scott and letting him walk. I don't even think he's on an NBA roster right now. I mean, I was a big Mike Scott fan when he first came because he shot well from the 3-point line. Then the 2 years after that, he's kind of diminished, and it's been
Well, I
kind
would
of
hope
brutal.
you're a Michael Scott fan. The Office is a great show.
George Niang is so much better.
Who?
George Niang. Get used to it. He comes off the bench and he just makes the simple play and just spots up from the 3-point line and just shoots 40%. Like, that's all I ask. Just make the right play. Make the simple plays, simple bounce pass, simple, cross-court pass here and there, and just make a jump shot. Like, that's what the power forward position is right now. And you have that coming off the bench because you have Tobias Harris playing that 4 spot right now. Now, the next thing. Daryl Morey trading for Seth Curry for Josh Richardson is like robbery times like 5. Like, Josh Richardson has been traded twice since then. And Seth Curry has missed 4 times from 3-point land this year. He's 13 of 17 in 3 games. And
yeah, I was gonna say, from what I saw when I went to Miller's that Friday night against the Nets game, like he was everywhere.
he just doesn't miss. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I saw something. His brother Steph, like, when they train, they don't count. They count it as a miss if the ball hits the rim, even if it goes in. They count it as a miss when they train.
Jeez.
So, like, you have
That's like harsh on them.
Yeah, so like you have their dad who's like a great 3-point shooter. You have Steph, who's obviously the greatest shooter we've ever seen, or greatest shooter in history. Then you have Seth, who's the most efficient shooter we've ever seen at 45% in his career. That's the most in NBA history. Like, I mean, Daryl Morey should re-sign Seth Curry like yesterday, because he should be in their plans for the next 3 years.
At least.
Yeah. Next thing, Andre Drummond. The best backup we've had for Joel Embiid right now. I know we had Dwight Howard last year, but Andre Drummond is the best backup number 5 guy we've had. He's a monster on the glass. When I went to the game, he's just a massive human being. He just boxes out everybody. The other night he had 17 boards. He plays solid defense. Perfect. He can pass a good bit when he, throw the ball into the post. They double, kick it out. Okay. There were 2 possessions in that Nets game at the end of the fourth quarter where Doc Rivers should have challenged. The one.
How does challenging work in the NBA?
So a coach gets one challenge a game.
Okay.
And if you get it right or you don't get it right, it doesn't matter. You don't get it for the rest of the game. Now, under 2 minutes, it's like automatically reviewed. But this was like with like 4 or 3 minutes left. The Sixers are up by 2. There was a possession before where it was questionable on who it went out, like if it hit Kevin Durant's leg or not. And then the next possession or 2 possessions later down the floor, Sixers are up 2. It's a fast break. Danny Green steps at the free throw line. Boom. Gets his body in front, takes a charge, but they call it a blocking foul. And then now if they replayed it, the NBA the next day in their last 5-minute report or whatever, they go through and check to see if the game was called right in the last 5 minutes. They said it was a charge. And that at that point forward, even though the Sixers didn't score for like 2 minutes before that, the Sixers were up 2, and the Nets got a 3-point play out of that, and they never looked back after that. If Doc Rivers challenges that play, the Sixers have the ball. They hold the ball for another 20 seconds. Even if they don't score, that's 20 more seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
20 more seconds that the Nets don't score. And that's the worst case scenario. They could also get a foul and go to the free throw line and make 2 there. It kind of changed the whole game, those 2 possessions, since he didn't challenge. And it's kind of baffling that he didn't challenge. And it just brings up my other thing of Doc Rivers is more of a problem than Ben Simmons.
He has been a problem recently.
He's more of a problem than Ben Simmons is.
So who do you think should take Doc's place then?
Oh, they're not going to get rid of Doc Rivers. They're just not going to.
All right.
Because the Sixers view him as a valuable piece. And I do too, but you can't not challenge when it changes the entire game. You have to. I just don't like him not challenging either possession. When you're
Fair
up
enough,
2 and could it change momentum, because then the Nets are all excited that they got an and 1 and boom.
Yeah, then they have all the momentum going, and
Right.
Sixers now have none. Where if he challenged
if you get that charge, you get the fans back into it, because the Nets were already on like a 13, or were already on like an 8-0 run. They finished the game on a 13-1 run, and you get the crowd back into it with the charge going the other way.
you never know, that 8-0 or that 13-1 run could have been like a 10-6 run,
Right.
something.
And then that's where the Sixers win the game.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's the second game the second game of the season. You're going to need that at the end of the year when you're fighting for the 3 spot.
Points are points.
Well, the NBA is just by record.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But but it's going to help you because you're going to have to beat out the Miami Heat, and you're going to be fighting for that 3 spot, and it's going to help when the 4 has to come to you instead of you going to the 3.
All right.
That's all I got on the Sixers.
I mean, I don't really have too much else on the Sixers. I watched half of one game because I was at a bar. So, yeah.
Way to go.
I wouldn't even say I paid too much attention to that game either. Other than the fact that every time I looked up, it seemed like Seth Curry had the ball shooting the 3 and draining it.
Well, that was last night. Last night.
How many times did he shoot 3 last night?
I mean, he made 6 in the first quarter.
Oh, Jesus. Good for him.
The dude's just an automatic heat check.
Well, that's good for the Sixers.
Yeah.
They need that.
All right. Where do you want to go next? Eagles or Flyers?
Eagles.
All right. Go Birds. Everything sucks.
Yeah.
I have it written down. Everything sucks. I literally have that written. Before I get into the coaching of the players, the roster construction is just god awful. Jeffrey Roseman is the combination of Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman is just brutal. Like, please, like Jeffrey, sell the team. Like, I just don't want Howie Roseman here anymore. And because Howie got the first round pick for Carson, and Carson, looks good, which is still a mistake. He ran Carson out of town, basically.
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Yeah, and now with Miles Sanders having that
The one time they used Miles Sanders.
Yeah. How many times did they actually run the ball?
At one point, they had more runs than passes, and it was like 8 to 6.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And they look good doing it. Like,
Well,
I don't
yeah,
care if you
because
get
Miles
2
Sanders
yards.
can actually run a ball.
Well, I don't care if you get like a 2-yard gain. Like, just the ability for the defense to see that look that you will run the ball, and then they have to hesitate a split second.
Yeah.
Now, getting to the defense, because the defense
Oh, the defense is atrocious, man.
defense blows. They've given up 30 or more points in like 3 of their last 4 games or something.
Oh, I was gonna say
Maybe even 5 of the last 6. I don't know.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure they gave up 30 plus points in 5 games.
Yeah, there you go. And 40 was the Chiefs game. So
Well,
you
it was
can't-
40 during the Chiefs, and then didn't they give up like 42 against the Tampa Bay Bucks?
No.
I thought they had 2. I thought they had 2 or 3 games where they gave up 40 plus points.
Dallas, they gave up 40.
Dallas. Okay, Dallas
Yeah.
might have been.
Pat, do you know what a too high shell like
Whoa, language, sir. As
too
I've
high
probably
shell?
cursed a couple times already.
I didn't curse. I said too high shell.
I know you were close.
Close to what?
Saying the S word.
Well, I mean, it does describe this team. Do you know what a too high shell like?
That's a zone coverage, right? Where you have 2
Pretty
safeties in
much,
the
yeah. So
2
are at the
safeties
top.
high or in the back
Yeah.
that are like deep, right?
Yeah, you can't play that way when this organization does not value linebackers, because it's based on linebackers being able to cover that middle section of the field. And I mean, the linebackers are just not existent. They haven't been existent in 5+ years, maybe even 8. Like, it's been really bad. And
Yeah, Anthony Gargano said on the radio that he would be okay if all 3 first round draft picks were linebackers.
yeah, I mean, they need it. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, people say like, "Oh, you should have drafted Michael Parsons." No, Michael Parsons was not the right draft pick when your team is this bad. My next thing. Jalen Hurts can't
Dude.
make a simple throw.
I swear there was like a point in time where he threw like 3 passes in a row behind the player.
Yeah. One of them, Devontae Smith should have caught, but like it's still like back here.
Yeah. It's
I only
not
say
the
that
easiest
because
catch.
Yeah, I only say that he should have caught it because he had 2 hands on the ball, but it's still behind him. One thing I forgot to mention about the defense, they are allowing teams that play against them to complete their pass completion percentage is 71.4. Drew Brees a couple years ago had around 72%, and that was an NFL record for a year. The Eagles defense, I'll say it again, is letting the opponents complete the passes at 71.4%. To put it in perspective, Jalen Hurts is the 29th ranked quarterback in completion percentage, and his is 61.5.
That actually seems kind of high for Jalen Hurts.
It's what it is.
For a man that keeps throwing it behind the players or low, he has pretty high percentage of completed passes.
Well, with this Joe Flacco trade that went down, if you guys aren't aware, that Joe Flacco
I sent you that like an hour ago.
Yeah, Joe Flacco has been traded to the New York Jets. What the hell are the Jets thinking? Like, your season's done. You don't need to waste a draft pick on Joe Flacco.
Was it just a draft pick?
It's a 6th-round pick that can turn into a 5th-round pick if he plays X amount of time. We don't know yet, but I mean, it's a steal. It's basically a steal for the Eagles. It's a no-brainer. Joe Flacco wasn't going to play even if Jalen Hurts got hurt. But now this brings up the conversation of Gardner Minshew, who played in Jacksonville. And now he's elevated to the number 2 spot.
No matter what.
How soon until we are in Minshew Mania? Because that's what they called it when he was good. A couple years ago, they called it Minshew Mania. And I'm like, hey, let's get crazy. Minshew Mania it up. Let's go.
Yeah, like the Eagles are going nowhere this year. So now is the time to experiment with different plays, experiment with different players, experiment with different quarterbacks, and figure out what you can do with this team.
Well, I can guarantee you this. Gardner Minshew is better than Jalen Hurts right now if he stepped on the field. But the Eagles are going to try and solidify their 2nd-round draft pick, which that 2nd-round draft pick messed up this whole entire organization, because if you don't use that 2nd-round draft pick on Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz is still here, and he's still balling for the Eagles. He would at least make this team 500. I could tell you that.
Yeah, even with this defense being trash.
Carson Wentz is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 11 plus touchdowns and 1 interception. Chris, he just brought it up.
Yeah,
there it is.
Literally just said that.
I have been trying to tell people, my boy Carson. I mean, I will tweet out my article again. You guys just let me win. Let me know when. And I have, I think, 3 reasons why Carson should not be traded.
I thought it was 5.
5? I don't know. It's right.
John's got like 8 in his head. 8 in his head right now, at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Or John might have 11 in his head right now.
11? What? What
11
are we talking about?
thoughts as to why Carson Wentz should not have been traded. And 11 is a very specific number.
Well, it's now 2. He's number 2 now.
Oh, is he?
Oh, bet. I will send that article. I'll. How about this? I'll pin it on my Twitter, and then we can look at it.
Didn't you get like a couple thousand views on that one too?
Yeah.
And you got a lot of praise for that one too. I know that.
I mean, people just like to come at me for like no reason.
Oh no, there were people that were coming at you for a tweet you posted like 3 years ago
about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, that was funny. That one was funny.
At what? Okay. The other stat I have here.
Real quick, I am done saying that.
I also did see that. The offense this year has 18 touchdowns. Pat, try to guess how many touchdowns they have scored out of those 18 when they are down 19 points.
8.
Close. 7.
Dang it!
They have scored 7 touchdowns when they are down 19 points or more. And they are the kings of garbage time touchdowns. And as
Probably because
the famous
teams
Jack
give up.
As the famous Jack Fritz says, tweets out every so often, good teams win, great teams cover the spread. I mean, it's what this team does. And I just don't know. I don't know what else to say. That speaks for itself. Nick Sirianni, at what point, Pat, do you think Nick Sirianni should consider giving up play calling?
3 games ago.
I'm going to say in the next 3 weeks, if this team is still garbage, if they are at least not moving the ball at all, he should consider giving it to Steve Sherkins.
Well, all he really has are RPOs and then 2 other passing plays.
Go deep.
Yeah,
That's all Wes Watkins knows.
Oh yeah, but it's insane. Like, switch it up a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
You're making this offense way too predictable.
He should give it 3 more games, and if nothing else changes, he should consider giving up play calling. Now, as much
Chris agreed with me.
as much as
3
this,
games ago.
as much as this winning cures everything, this team should lose out. Get the draft pick. Right now we have 2 in the top 5, and right now 3 in the top 13. Lose out. Get the number 3 overall pick, and just roll
Oh
with it.
no. Do
Chip
not
Kelly,
bring him back.
he's about to get fired from UCLA.
Yeah, don't bring him back. Please don't bring him back.
How about Kellen Moore from the Cowboys? I mean, he obviously makes that team run. I mean, I know he has. I don't need a quarterback. Get me any linebacker or anybody. Lose out. That's my mentality right now.
As it should be.
It wasn't that in
Like-
the beginning of the year, but it's gotten to
But-
that point.
I mean, it should be the mentality right now to lose out, but at the same time, Howie Roseman's going to pick like a sixth round player in the first round.
Well, there was a report today that the Eagles are going to either use a draft pick on a quarterback or they're going to trade for a quarterback. And
Well, they kind of have to.
that's pretty much in the report. Is that's pretty much going to save his job. So that's pretty much what he's going to do. And then he's going to be here, and he's probably going to get an extension. It's just what happens. Life is hell here. I saw a tweet yesterday. It said, "I'm going to sue my parents for making me grow up in Philly sports."
Yeah. Dude. Especially this year, man. Philly sports are just tough.
Yeah. I mean, we thought that our GM having Twitter burner accounts was the craziest thing we've ever seen. Ben Simmons said, "Hold my beer. I got something else for you."
Yeah, you did. So you ready to have him back?
I mean, if he can lose this game, sure. But Jalen Hurts is doing that just as good, so I don't need to waste a draft pick. I know this is not going to happen, but I would love a clean house with a new GM, new coach, and new quarterback next year. I know it's not going to happen, but
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
my dream scenario,
They're going to keep Sirianni for a couple of years.
my dream scenario is bring bring in somebody who did not work out as their first time head coach. I don't want somebody who's it's their first time. Doug Peterson worked out, but not everybody is like Doug Peterson and wins their Super Bowl in the second year.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson at least switched his plays up.
I wouldn't say that. He was an issue last year, but we also see what he was doing last year.
The first couple years.
Yeah. Well, when they had Frank Reich.
When
Frank
they
Reich
actually
is now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And guess who's their quarterback? Carson Wentz. And look what they're doing. They're balling out.
Well, what's their record right now? 3-4?
Yeah. They didn't start off.
Yeah,
great.
they're really balling out, huh?
Okay, they've won 3 of the last 4. And the one time they lost was because Lamar Jackson had to put up like 550 yards of total offense.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Like
that's a ridiculous number.
Yeah. He threw for like 420 and then ran for another 100. Like it's just the one game they lost was it wasn't a good loss because they should have won that game in regulation, but it went to overtime and they eventually did lose. That's all I got for the Eagles.
The only other thing I got is pray Miles Sanders comes back next week, even though there's no way he's going to.
Would you like to go over the Union real quick before we get into the Flyers?
Sure, we can.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was epic. Was it not?
It was
first 5 minutes.
It was a lot of fun.
First 5 minutes, we saw 2 WWE slams.
Yeah, and no call.
Yeah. Ref was freaking horrible for that. Dude, I swear the one guy grabbed Montero by his neck and just yanked him down.
Yeah.
But they still ended up winning that game 1-0, which moved them above Nashville. So they're now in second, and Nashville is now in third. So they are in a very safe spot, but at the same time, if they lose 2 games and the teams below them win 2 games, they're right back where they were. Because each win is 3 points, and the team in 7th place has 43 points, and the Union has 49. So they need to keep their foot on the paddle. You good, dude? You're just like staring.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that Eagles article.
Oh.
I'm gonna chime in when I have something.
Yeah, that PK by Shablilko.
Yeah, that was I at first when he kicked it, I thought he saved it, but it did go over the goalie's net, and we were pretty hype about it.
Yeah. Absolutely we were. That was awesome. But something that I've mentioned before, and I will keep mentioning it, they need to keep the pressure on. That entire second half, Nashville was pressing, but their defense freaking shut them down. I think they had 1 shot on net, and it was a dinky little shot that was maybe going 5 miles an hour that Blake handled easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to keep the pressure on in the offensive zone when they're up 1-0, to put the other team on their heels and give their defense a little bit more of a break. Because their defense has been the only reason why they're in a playoff spot.
Yeah, they were locked down the last quarter. They were just kind of playing in that prevent.
Yeah, it was like
style.
anytime they touched the ball, they just kicked it as far as they could. Like that was their game plan, was just get it out. Where sometimes that works. Sometimes that works. Other times it doesn't. They got lucky it worked out this time, but they also had a lot of blocked shots too. So
Right.
their offense still needs to do more. From what I saw that game, their offense needs to do a lot more.
They had a couple different opportunities that they just didn't take advantage of.
Yeah, when Paxton Harrison came in, though, they actually got some offense back.
Yeah.
Like that kid can produce some offense. And he's only I don't even know if he turned 18 yet. Like, just wait a couple years while he develops.
That number 30 kid that came in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Brendan Harrison's little brother.
Yeah, he's very quick.
I do not believe Fontana went in.
And Montero is very good. Very
Dude, he was
quick,
breaking ankles
very
left and right.
agility.
Breaking ankles left and right. Like, I'm pretty sure Montero made at least 5 guys fall down
Yeah.
just by doing a move on him. Like, it was nuts. Yeah, he's a great player. He really is. But I mean, I haven't seen too much of him, but what I have seen, he's played well. But with the I'm just trying to think, like, they have a lot of options in the same spot that Fontana is in. Like with Paxton Harrison, and Aronson has been doing really good. Like, he's been doing fantastic.
Yeah.
They now got that new guy, Gazdag, that scored 2 times in his debut. Like, they have options where Fontana could be placed, which is probably why they're not playing him. I wouldn't be surprised if they went and traded Fontana for like some type of defender to help the back line a little bit more.
Yeah.
Either that or they'll just keep him on the roster as like a 14th player or 15th player.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Union only did 2 subs on Saturday as well.
Well, they put a third one in at the end, I think.
Oh, the guy that played for like 20 seconds.
Well, that's just a waste time at that point in the extra.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, yeah, get your 20 seconds of fame, bro. Let's go. 1 clear. That's all we need. I still don't even know his name.
Nope. No idea.
Got a scoop on that. Scoop on what?
A scoop on the article, the Eagles article that I found. It is now pinned to my Twitter. So right at the top, it's going to have 3 reasons why I think
go to that at JP. Go to that at JPAP15 on Twitter. Oh, a font scoop. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Actually, let's see. Who are the Union playing next? There's only a few games left. I know that. So if they win their next couple, they'll snag that playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule, load up, go down. They are playing Toronto next. In Toronto on Wednesday.
Interesting.
They should actually beat Toronto. Toronto's already eliminated from playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good. I'll make sure to check that out. Yeah, Toronto's already eliminated, so they're probably just figuring out different players that they can play for type thing.
Right.
And go from there. So I'm actually going to make that one of my locks of the week. Don't steal it because you still go first.
Not.
You still go first, but I'm taking Union over Toronto. I'm calling it right now. That's the one thing I'm calling.
We still got to talk about the Flyers.
That is true. Should we move on to them? Because there really isn't too much else. Really isn't too much else. Like, basic summary of that is defense has been stellar. Offense needs to put more pressure, and they can't let their foot off the gas when they're in the lead.
Yeah.
Like that. That's basically it. Flyers.
Ready?
Yep.
All right.
Heart's been scaring me a little bit. he had one
I've
really
got
good game against the
4.
Kraken.
I got 4 bullet points that I want to talk about the Flyers. 3 good, 1 bad right now. I didn't even think of Carter Hart, but yeah,
He's scaring me a little bit
he's
because
interesting.
2 out of 3 games he's let up 4 goals. Oh,
But-
wait, no. Technically, that one was 3.
Yeah.
That last game.
But still, I mean, that was also against the Panthers. So
Panthers are a really good team. Yeah, they kept up with them pretty good.
yeah. So I love that they're more physical. I love when they're
Yes.
energized in the first period and just come out and just run somebody over. I love that
Yes.
Ristolainen in the press box after the first game was like, I wanted to jump out and fight everybody.
Yes.
He's like, I was just ready to go.
Dude, this team makes me so excited.
I know. Their defensive positioning has been much improved, especially on the penalty kill. I know that they let up, I think two early in their first game. But Cam Atkinson has been a huge help to that, scoring a shorthanded goal the other night and another one a couple games ago. They are 16 of 19 after not starting off hot. So they have successfully killed off 16 of 19 penalties, which
Good.
is a lot of penalties. But if you can kill them off, all power to you. They're going to have to cut down on that.
Yes, definitely. Especially since they've only
yeah.
played 4 games and they have 19 penalties.
Right. So that's
I have a
it's
feeling
not
in that
good.
Kraken game though, where Nate Thompson got 25 penalty minutes.
that
I think that one kind of shot that up a little bit.
that didn't help. My next thing is my one bad point. We're gonna have to live with Rasmus Ristolainen's mistakes. We're gonna have to live with him being out of position at some things. We're gonna have to live with him having stupid penalties. It's just something that we're just gonna have to just come to grips with, that he's gonna be an issue at some points and he's gonna be great in others.
You never know. He can develop a little bit.
I know, but he's already given up a couple goals because of turnovers and being in the wrong position. So I think that was an issue for him coming out of the Sabres, and
It's showing here.
yeah,
Where hopefully Flyers can kind of like track that down a little bit.
yeah, and
Like-
I think playing on a better team does help with that. So he doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah.
My final thing is the Joel Farabee hype train is not a fluke. The kid is really
Dude,
good at
he's
scoring.
been a beast this year.
And the entire line of Farabee, Brassard, and Atkinson is just like sizzling hot.
Absolutely.
So
It's been awesome. One game, I think the line combined for 7 or 8 points.
because it's happened twice where that line has had 6 points or more twice so far. And it takes the pressure off of the Giroux line with Couturier and who
Is
else
TK on there?
yeah, it takes pressure off of that line. When
And
you have
TK's got
another
3
one.
goals too.
Yeah, it takes pressure, and Giroux's got 2, or no, he's got 4.
Does he have 4?
Pretty sure.
I thought he only had 2 as well.
Oh, well, they were 2 big goals. Either way, it takes pressure off of that.
Yes,
top
they
line.
were. His one snipe was just insane.
And the ability of that fourth line with Nate Thompson.
Drew's got 3 goals. Atkinson has
3.
4.
Oh, okay. That fourth line has also been coming up huge with Nate Thompson creating pressure, Oscar Lindblom creating pressure on the forecheck, and
Brassard.
No, Brassard's on that Farabee and Atkinson line.
Crap, who else is on that line?
Max Wheelman, I think, was on there, but now he's done with the Phantoms.
Oh, that's the one where that player keeps rotating, right? Is Lawton on that line?
No. Yeah. Scott
Okay.
Long, Lindblom, and Nate Thompson. That line has been awesome. Trying to just get. The
I don't
puck.
need them to score, but they
No,
have
just
been
being
great.
annoying.
Yeah, they have been great with what they've been doing.
I mean, that's all I got for the Flyers. I mean, they
Like
next play Wednesday in Edmonton, and this Western road trip is really we're gonna find where people are at.
Dude, this road trip is going to help them a lot. Like they have pretty good team chemistry right now. After this road trip, where they're all going to be together, this road trip's basically going to make or break the team. They're either going to become closer than they ever have been, or depending on who they room with, they might grow apart. I'm really hoping they grow together and become like a very fierce team.
Yeah.
So it seems like they all get along with each other and they all love being on a team together.
Right.
And Atkinson, ever since he joined, like he's been in love with Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loves it here. Ristolainen's got the physicality, so you know the fans are behind him.
Yeah. We put a poll out on Thursday when I was in class, and it was our biggest poll in the history of this podcast with 43 votes on it. Yeah, that's what we finished with.
43. Last I saw was like 37.
Yeah, we finished with 43. The question was, after the 2-0-1 start, where do you stand on the excitement of the Flyers? And there was three things you could have clicked on: all in, cautiously optimistic, or they will struggle soon. Pat, where do you think the people voted?
I know I went cautiously optimistic because I want to see what happens during this road trip.
As did I.
But I have a feeling because Philly is Philly, they're going all in.
No, I went cautiously optimistic, but you think the people picked all in?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
That is incorrect, as it was very close, almost a 50-50 split. Cautiously optimistic got 51.2% of the votes.
Oh, okay.
And 0% of the votes went to they will struggle soon. So nobody is panicking. Nobody is worrying about the Florida Panthers loss. Nobody is worried about the shootout loss in the first game. And I think we're just waiting.
I love how this just popped up now.
Well, hey, I mean, if people don't know we're live by now at 57 and 52 seconds into this podcast, I mean, they're
57 minutes.
Crap out of luck.
10 seconds in, you mean?
What?
57 minutes and 15 seconds now?
It's 58:05 right now.
Oh, I 57:20. Okay.
But yeah, I think we can get to the locks of the week because I know you wanted to keep this near an hour.
Yeah, I did, mostly because I'm pretty sure we're going to be logging on to some Rocket League soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with this road trip. And next week, we'll come back. Oh, wait, no. It'll probably have to be the week after. And really give our opinions of what we think of the Flyers, because
Right.
I think by the time we next have our podcast, only 2 games will be played.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll give them more in depth after the full road trip.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll still give you guys an update next week too. But locks of the week. I am throwing mine in there real quick. Because
Okie dokie. You can
because I
just give
can.
all yours.
Well, no, you won last week, but that was the one I definitely wanted. But since you won last week, you're still good to go.
All right. I'm going to go with Sixers beating the Knicks tomorrow night, I think it is. Or well, let me double check that. Nope. Wait. Yeah, tomorrow night. Sixers play the Knicks in Madison Square Garden.
Knicks has a K in front of it, right? I'm not
Yeah.
being dumb there. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, it's about the downpour. All right, what's next?
Um, I'm gonna go with shoot. I'm gonna go with when I'm gonna say the Flyers beat Edmonton.
All right, that's going to be a tough one because the Oilers with McDavid and Draisaitl, I'm pretty sure they have yet to have a game that they've scored less than like 3 points.
Yeah. And I'm also gonna take on Friday night the Nuggets beating the Mavericks.
All right. So let's see who we got. Dude, Blackhawks are 0-5-1. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this this Metropolitan Division is ridiculous. Every team has like 3 or 4 wins other than the Flyers. Shoot. Who do I want, John? Who do I want?
I don't know.
I'm going to say Tampa Bay is going to get revenge on the Penguins and kick their butt on Tuesday.
Do it.
And then let's pull up the MLS app again and find some other scores. Then I'm going to say New England Revolution is going to beat Colorado. What the heck is this? All right. Now go back. And those are our picks of the week, folks. We got a decent mixture here. 2 NHL, 2 NBA, and 2 MLS.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully John goes 0 for 3. Gives me a little chance to catch back up. Today is the 25th.
And we kept this podcast at 1 hour and almost 4 minutes.
Sick. All right. I am going to rate off. Well, it's never mind. There's only one person in here. No real point in doing that. You're good. Well, I guess we'll just end it here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We truly appreciate you being here. Chris, awesome talking to you as always. John, get prettier.
Hey, I just spit facts.
Stay safe out there, guys.
When you're right.
Are we actually doing this Saturday this time?
No. I think I'm going to a bar crawl.
You drunk.
Hey, it wasn't my idea. I just said yes.
I don't think that matters.
I mean,
Sunday.
that's a firm no. Yeah, we'll figure out a time Sunday.
Okay, because we might be doing Minecraft again with Zach on Sunday.
Yeah, so we'll do it
or-
during the day at some point.
Yeah, we'll probably do it earlier. So, Until Sunday, guys, stay safe out there and argue some sports. Yeah. Go Flyers.
Go Birds.
Peace.
What you mean?